Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is I, Dixie Dave, along with my co-host, right over there, the five-time loser, Crusher Crossen. I am Dixie Dave. We're here for another Thursday with you.
Excuse me, but what was that?
Five-time loser.
Yeah, taking a page out of Ricky Henry's book, I take it, huh?
And actually, if we count in the tag team title reigns, the national title reigns, do you really want me to add them up?
Well, let's add up yours. Wait, there was just one championship, the national tag.
Yeah, because the one I wanted, the champion kept ditching me.
Dave, this is our only show for the month of December for Rewind.
Yep.
So, tonight, guys, this is going to be it for December for us because
for November.
I'm sorry, November. God, I'm ahead of myself.
With the old timers.
I know I'm ahead of myself. Because our next show would fall on Thanksgiving, and we didn't feel a need to do a show on Thanksgiving because everybody's busy with Thanksgiving.
Dixie Dave wanted you to be able to enjoy time with your family.
Yep. And so this is going to be our only show for November. And then we're only going to have one show in December as well. It's going to be, I believe, the 12th of December. will be our only December show because we're not going to do one the week of Christmas either. So,
Right.
yeah, so just little.
Because, I wouldn't want to be a Grinch and let Crusher Crossen into your house on Christmas.
Something it's very interesting. I am I'm a baby face here with Canary Kid. He's my heel on forward. However, when I go to kayfabe with Keaton, I'm the heel while he's the baby face to Northern Ireland. So I kind of side with the heels over there. I have to see eye to eye with them when we talk about, like we were talking about Canary Kid on the Keaton show last week, and I was kind of agreeing with D.D. Crooks and those guys. But
So
I kid with the Canary Kid. I kid with the Canary Kid. What's that?
So here we find out Crusher swings both ways.
Well, I've been a heel. Yes, I was a baby face for most of the time, but I've had my heel moments. So let's get some comments in here before we get started. Gizmo says, we made it. Thanks for the link. Yeah, I figured, I was thinking to myself, why don't I just put the link? Yeah. So yeah, just if you were on the old stream, I don't know what happened. Sometimes we initialized and it didn't work right. And so I had to initialize again. And I think that's why it created a new live window. That's what's going on. So, yeah. So not a big deal, but long as the link's there, everybody should be able to, if they go to there, they'll see the link in the comments, hopefully, and they'll just, come over here. Like you guys think, It seems like everybody made it. And then, let's see, Sports Talk 117's got a question right off the bat. How did you get into wrestling at the start? And what made you think you could put it on TV?
Well, that's where wrestling belongs, is on TV.
Well, yeah, but to be more precise, this is a very interesting question. Like, what made us think we could put it on TV? Well, what happened was I learned about public access from the cable salesman that came to our door. They used to send, Dave, back in the day, they would send cable salesmen around door to door, knocking on your door, saying, hey, are you interested in cable TV? Because they were trying to push it. Because a lot of people didn't know what it was. It was brand new. So they had these salespeople come out, and then they would have then if you made an appointment with them, they come up with a binder and have this big binder going over all the channels that cable offers. And in that binder, there was a section. Channels. Yeah, 40. But it was a big, thick manual. And in there they talked about public access, where you can go in and we have video equipment. You can make your own TV show. And my eyeballs were this big. I'm like, you mean I can go in? Because I was 12. I was 13 at the time. I said, you're telling me I can go in there, learn to use this equipment, and make my own TV show and put it on TV? And he's like, yeah, it's open. I said, is there an age restriction? He's like, no, anybody can do it. There's no age limit. I said, really? And I just kept going on and on and on. I was driving the sales guy nuts because he just wanted to make a sale, right? He didn't want to answer questions about public access. So I kept going on to it, and I'm just thinking, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I want to be on TV. This is awesome. I want to be on cable.
You see, for you younger folks, back when we were young, public access was our YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, it's like just the idea that we could be on TV and it doesn't cost any money and all we got to do is learn to use it. I was in. So that's what I did. I started learning to do community television public access first. And then it was a few months later that Charlie and I got the idea to create a wrestling show. And that's how it started, everybody. So, but as far as when I got into wrestling, how did I get into wrestling at the start? I was a fan of professional wrestling a good 2 years before this whole cable TV sales thing happened. Salesman came to our door. I mean, I was watching wrestling for a couple years leading up to that point.
Was it luxury that got you into it?
Yeah, I was luxury. He was watching it. He was all excited and super excited about Hulk Hogan and Nick Bockwinkel, and I was like, what the hell's going on? So I had to turn it on, and then I started watching what he was watching, and he and I became avid wrestling fans. We were big Hulkamaniacs in the beginning, but not the WWF Hulk Hogan. This was the AWA Hogan.
Yep, big difference.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Just like there's a big difference between WWE Hogan and Japan Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Over in Japan, he could actually work.
And in the beginning, Hogan was genuine. He wasn't, he didn't think, like he was a big star or anything like he got. He didn't get the big ego rush that he ended up getting later on, which I'm not a fan of.
No.
I don't think anybody is. But yeah, that was a good question to get things started. I think Gizmo's got another one. And then after this, before we get to Gizmo's question, let me play what's coming up on the Video Network. Now, what's going to come up on the Video Network tomorrow, you guys, is what we're going to watch today. That actually hits the network tomorrow. So
Yep.
our watch along here, Studio Taping 70, that's going to actually be what's going on the Video Network tomorrow. But the preview I'm going to show is what's coming up on the network for December 1st. So this is what's coming up on the network. Let's watch this, and we'll be right back with you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let me tell you something, mate. I like this tag team here, but I don't know what business Mr. Destroyer's got going in there. We really can't tell very well. Okay. Oh no, China! He does it! He body slams Dave Dixon! And over, that's Eric. Over. Go. What's he gonna do? Oh no! I move the bullet. Well, I don't know, Steerson. I doubt it. Irish whip into the ropes. Oh, he turned it with a karate chop drop kick. Tag, here he comes. He's coming up. On the top rope. Right on the arm. Picks him up. Can we have a slam? Oh, yes. Terry Block, one of the strongest. Oh, nice slam. No? Neck breaker, spinning neck breaker on
We will be featuring special interviews with some of the men from the end.
Steenerson is really stunned now. Oh, what an elbow across the back by Crusher Crossen. Moves out of the way of a drop kick. Oh, but he gets him with this one. Steenerson is down on his back. And oh no, he slams him. Steenerson just slammed Crossen from the rope. Does he get him up? Gets him up. Does he get him? And he slams him. Oh, with the power slam. In his legs, picks him up. He's getting him up. He's got him up, and oh, what a pile driver by Thunder. And it's the elbow across the chest.
Episode 98, Dave. Dayton
Yep.
Pole Barn Studios. I seen Dixie Dave in there.
Couple times, Dixie Dave pulling double duty.
Yeah. And in fact, Dave, I think you were in the last match of that show against Standard that we just seen there.
Main event, right where I belong.
And yeah, Dayton Studios, that was fine. Of course, them dang windows weren't painted black yet on this one, but that'll get fixed up in the next day, in the Dayton shows going forward after this one.
And we had the Irish Terror on that show. We had Block on the show.
Terry Block, Jamie McParlin, Mike Whaley, Mr. Macho, Kid Kelsey, Slick Steenerson.
The one appearance of Jamie's cousin.
Yeah, what was it, Lochi?
Yep.
And but all those guys like Jamie, Terry, Dave, Troy, Mike, all these guys that I just mentioned, really the staples of the league at the time.
Yeah.
Mr. Destroyer in there too. Don't want to forget him.
Yep.
Here's a question from Gizmo. He says, which aspect of wrestling do you think is the most challenging, physical or mental?
Honestly, I think the physical aspect of it is. The mental aspect of it comes naturally.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
I mean, it's a matter of learning the moves, learning the fall.
Yeah.
Chaining everything together.
The only mental challenge is when you're promoting it like I was and having big shows coming up.
Right.
That was mentally challenging. It was a lot going on my mind. I was always worried about gates sales, ticket sales and everything. Are we going to get enough money to pay for this stuff? Because we put up a lot of money to make them armory shows, and if we don't bring the money in, how do we pay for it? So
Yep.
So that was a mental challenge doing the big events, you know. Good question though. But yeah, let's get started with the watch long, Dave, so we're not delaying everybody. They're going to want to see this show we got coming up. It's Studio Taping 70. From where is it at, Dave? Studio Taping
Yoho
70?
Municipal, if I remember correctly.
Yoho Municipal. And our first ever, Jason called it our first ever outdoor taping. That's technically not true. We did one in the early days of the league. We brought the bed mattresses from the basement and put them in the backyard there where the ring was. And we did the 4 mattresses just outside. So we did do one outdoor show, but I don't have that on tape.
Yeah.
I remember doing it though. But yeah, this one is where we got the ring back there. A lot of people will look at this and say, well, this is backyard wrestling legitimately because you're in a backyard. But guys,
we weren't using fluorescent tubes and thumbtacks and all that garbage. We were actually working matches.
Yeah, we were filming an episode for cable television. This was nothing even close to. It might resemble. The only thing in common with backyard wrestling is that we were in a backyard. That's about it.
Oh, and didn't somebody use your fence as a weapon?
The fence?
Yeah, I thought somebody ran somebody into the fence.
Yeah, I got ran into it, and I got thrown over the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Just doing a little acrobatic, going over the fence, the chain link fence. But yeah. Yeah, let's get the show started, though. Go to our watch long screen here. And we'll start this show up at Studio Taping 70. The only thing I don't like about this show, Dave, is the commentators are getting goofy. Tough Tony was on the mic, and he had the giggles, couldn't get rid of the giggles, and that always bothers me. I always want people to be as professional as we can, right?
I know, but we were kids.
I know, we were kids.
Kids will be kids.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you join the video network and you get this in 1080p.
Yep. We're watching this at half resolution right now. Still cleaned up, but just not the nice 1080p.
It's a little bit upgraded from VHS quality.
And for those of you, I know some of you in here are on the video network. Can you confirm that it does look better on Vimeo when you watch it compared to our watch long? I'm curious because I know, like Gizmo, I think you're a member. Can you confirm what it looks like when you watch it on Vimeo compared to watching it on these watch longs, just so everybody knows, what the difference is? If you notice a difference, curious. I know I've had other people comment that they didn't think it looked as good.
Crusher's just trying to figure out if his work's worth it.
Right. I just want to know, that 1080p doesn't make a difference. This is about, I don't know, it's half a 1080p, basically, resolution that we're looking at right now.
In other words, about 540.
Actually, a little bit more, I guess. It's more around 700, but no, it's 800. See, 1080p is actually 1920 by 1080. And this is 800 by 600 or something. So it's about half.
The Yoho Municipal Arena.
Jason Crossen.
See here, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first ever outdoor show of the NWF. For our next match.
And our last show with this ring, Dave. This is the last show we did with this ring.
I was going to say, this is the old ring.
Yep. Because after this, we got a professional ring. The first professional ring for us. Followed all the tapings after this.
Well, it's for the PWA Pacific title. Coming in.
I mean, this ring worked, but man, it was so that when we got that pro ring, man, that was night and day difference, huh, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's Dixie Dave in the background there.
Yep. Looks like you got the ref shirt on.
Yep.
Coming in from Tokyo, Japan. Representing the Communist Party, Tokyo
Peter.
Terror.
Tokyo Terror.
Tokyo Terror. Now to our ringside commentators.
And he's going against the Fly, Chris Downs' brother,
Back down here with
Jay Downs.
commentary. Tokyo Terror against the Fly.
Everybody loved getting on Peter's case, calling him Tokyo Tutor, Tokyo Fairy. They come up with all sorts of nicknames for him.
And there we go. We got
Taco Terror. I remember they calling him that a lot.
Yep.
takedown on Tokyo Terror.
Fly, a very controversial wrestler. Need not to say about the Tokyo Terror too. Both very good, huh?
Makes me wonder how far along Peter would have come with us if he wouldn't have gotten that pile driver.
National. The Fly, a former
Very
national
true.
tag team champions with Slick Steenerson.
Ah, Wayne. Good to see you again, Wayne, after a long watch long from October. Armory card. Why so mean to Peter? Nah, we're not mean. They just he was a heel, so they had to boo him and stuff. And Peter got it. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
He fed off them.
Well, we got Tough Tony.
Wayne, if you
wanna
remember
make some
Peter back in the
comments?
day, you remember he took everything with a grain of salt.
Now the Fly, he's pretty
Yeah, and
good
sometimes-
wrestler. He
Especially
when it
won
came to
the
wrestling.
first match
But Peter was super honest kid. Like he
of this
didn't.
week.
Yeah.
He is a
you
pretty
know,
good rough wrestler.
He was
Well, at least
very,
that's
very
how he was
honest.
back in the day. I mean, I haven't talked to him since.
He really gave
Right.
me a
Pile driver
good hit on the
incident,
head. Almost knocked me unconscious.
Tony, where is your?
I just know his dad said, "This is it. You're done. You're not doing it no more."
Hawaii right now, enjoying the sun.
Peter got that big long stick, and you're trying to take it away from him.
He's with my partner.
I was going to call for the bell, but you guys kept saying, "No, let him go, let him go."
The next this next week's
I mean, that
match.
thing's. We got to get that thing out of there,
So you're
Dave.
saying the Sheik will be back next week?
Well, I had promoters telling me to let it go, let it go.
You never know when he pops up.
Now he's
So,
going
we're
after you
kinda
with
getting
it.
away from the match here. We got Tokyo Terror with a stick, and you got the Fly. Oh no, he's hitting the referee. Yes,
Steve was asking where I was. I could hear him in the
Fly
background.
coming back. Oh, and he's got Tokyo
Um,
Terror. Oh, Tokyo Terror comes back with the stick.
You know, the Fly, Jay Downs, he
Tony, this
he
is a
liked
lot
it
of
and
action
stuff too,
here.
but I think he really was only in it for because Chris wanted him to be there.
His
brother.
It almost hit another wrestler.
Yeah. So like we were just talking about that, Wayne.
You never can tell.
This
Well, with these
this
two, it
is
seems like a
backyard
pretty good
wrestling,
matchup so far.
but really the only thing in common with the '90s backyard is that this is in a backyard. I mean, we were actually taping an episode for cable television.
Yep.
You know, just following our armory event and everything. And yes, and then Wayne always makes the point that, you know, sometimes he's referred to backyarders as untrained. And technically that's us too.
Tokyo
Um,
Terror for having that stick in the ring.
But I don't say I don't refer to us as untrained. I refer to us as self-trained. That was the
Exactly.
term. That was the term back then, actually, because there was a lot of people that were self-trained. We weren't the only ones. You know, a lot of people would start out self-trained. They never referred to it as untrained. And they certainly didn't refer to it as a backyarder back then, because there was no such thing.
Tokyo Terror going for the pin.
But backyarder, untrained, that all came after those kind of terminology.
Getting away from the action here.
That's a '90s thing
Oh,
Yep.
headbutt
from all
by
the backyard
Tokyo Terror.
wrestling craziness.
And goes into the ropes. Oh, clothesline by Tokyo Terror
You're up next,
on the
Eddie.
Fly.
Ice Dragon Roundabout with Conan and
No, just
In fact-
Crusher.
You know, and Eddie, you know, here's the thing. When I met Eddie Sharkey, he didn't say who trained you. That never came up.
Nope.
We never talked about any of that stuff. He just wanted, you know, he was very intrigued with what we did because he heard about the big armory event. He
Yep.
just couldn't believe we had 350
Because, like,
people show up.
He flipped him on the floor. He fell out the ring.
You wanted to learn how we could draw.
And
Yep. Well, I think what he knew, Dave, is he knew we were an
Fly
attraction.
hit him.
There was something there that he could, and that's why the first thing he said is we got to do an event together because he wanted to cash in. He wanted to get part of our draw.
Yep.
Some.
And having us on a card with him was his way of kind of riding our coattails a little bit in popularity at the time.
He missed.
You know, because we had a pretty good following. We were on the cable airwaves for 2 years at this point. You know, people were watching our show regularly.
He's
No doubt about that. At least in the local market here. I don't know what kind of audience we had in the other states. Because we were only on the one city and the one system.
Right.
Where in the metro here, we were on every system in the metro. So we were on not only in Anoka and Blaine, and that we were in all throughout the west and all those cities and store cable system. Pretty much the whole western side of the metro.
Yeah.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. We were down south in Eagan, Apple Valley. We were down in Bloomington. We were in the White Bear Lake and Shoreview and Arden Hills and that whole area over there. These are all metros, cities around the metro, you guys, that I'm going over.
Yep.
So yeah, we had about 70 cities that we were in the Twin Cities there that our show was being broadcasted in for several years, leading up to this particular show.
Shot. Oh, another splash.
I'm just trying to put it into context for you guys so you understand that why we had so many people show up at our armory cards initially, I think, because they were all watching in all these different areas. And when they heard we were going to do a live event, they were curious. You know?
Next coming in, we have the tag team combination of Rock and Ronabaum.
Yeah, Tokyo Terror, great character. And the Fly. And these guys are good too. Ronabaum, Ice Dragon.
He taught us everything, and we're gonna take all the punishment on them. I don't know what kind of nerds, and we're gonna. He made me so mad from all the writing I did.
Ronabaum was a good talker.
I'm gonna take all the punishment on the nerds.
I see. I didn't understand a word you said there, but
he said we're gonna kill him.
Who's Oh, they're gonna kick themselves butts? Oh well.
Let's just put it this way. After we challenge, I don't know
Ice Dragon with face
what
paint.
it is. I think it's Conan the Conehead or whatever, something like that. Conehead, and Dr. Doofus or something like that. I'm not sure.
Get out of here.
Ice Dragon back then was a little tough to handle, but
I remember Ice Dragon. You know how wrestlers would test you sometimes, Dave, when we weren't filming?
Yep.
Chris was testing me, and we got into a scuffle, like a actual wrestling scuffle, like a for real wrestling to the ground, just to see, you know. And I remember I pinned his ass down, because that was the deal. You know, you would let them know that you're superior. That was kind of the thing, you know. They test you, right? He was testing me on this day. I remember that happening.
Unknown, Conan the Barbarian, and Dr.
That's good to see you, Wayne.
From Brooklyn, New York.
I really enjoyed that show when you came on with us. I thought that was a good time. That was fun. If any of you guys, you know, if Gizmo and Sports Tech and those guys ever want to come on with us, be more than happy to bring them in too.
Oh yeah. The only reason I came up with the idea of having Wayne on is he was actually in the crowd for the Anoka Armory event.
Right.
Destruction and Conan.
I think Matt Kelsey might be out there watching tonight, guys. He's a big fan of the outdoor tapings. He liked the outdoor tapings. That was it. In fact, that was Matt's favorite, were these outdoor shows.
Well, if you're out there, Kelsey, how you doing?
He said he wished.
Back in.
Yeah, because Kelsey is saying he wishes we would have done more of these outdoor tapings.
Dr. Destruction, but never did.
And Wayne says, "Thanks for having him on. It was a good time. Yeah, it was a long show, I gotta say. You know, but you hung with us the whole damn time."
And whooped him into the rope.
So Chad Rancor in the ring, Dr. Destruction. That's the one that is in the black shorts. Unfortunately, we lost Chad about 2 years ago.
There goes a
A little longer ago than that. I remember you saying it right before we started doing these that it was a little. It had been a little while.
Right, I think it was in 2022, so that would have been 2 years ago in July. About 2.5 years ago now. But yeah, so no longer with us, but in memories are still alive and well. Ah, I see Racer. I see Racer out there, guys.
Good to have you in, Racer.
Yes. We got to have you back on too, Racer. Got to have Racer back on one of these days.
Hammer, get a hold of me so we can set a date for you to come back on.
Yeah, next show we're going to be on again will be, what did we say, Dave? December 12th?
Yep.
Yeah. And, Racer is great because he's real. What you hear him say is coming from the heart. This is what he believes. He doesn't, he looks through all this. He just sees the passion we had that Dave and I always try to convey. And, so that's why I'd love to have him come on again so you can hear him in his own words. Because I can't put it into the words he can. He's that good at how he describes things. So.
Racer's a talker.
Yeah, and he's good. He's just good. He comes off. I just don't know. I can't come up with the words.
Okay, the best way I can describe Racer X. Okay, granted, I've never met the man in person. We've had phone conversations. We've had chat discussions. Racer is a good old Georgia boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's seen his highs, he's seen his lows, but he's a good old Georgia boy at heart.
And look, he's had a heck of a life. He's had his ups and downs, like we all have, and he's went through a lot of things. But you know what? He's a better person today than he ever was, and does inspirational talks once a week. I always watch him when I see him come up on my YouTube feed, like you do too, Dave.
Yep.
And it's good stuff.
Morning motivation.
Yep. But yeah, what I was trying to say though, when he watches us and stuff, he's not looking for picture perfect technique. He's not looking for, proper etiquettes and doing it right. He's seeing the love we had for the business is what he sees.
Yep.
He can say this so much better than I am. That's why I'd love to have him come on and talk about it like how he does in his own words. Because I'm not doing him justice. One of these days we'll get him on. Maybe we'll get him on in December in that show we're only doing one show in December. It's going to be December 12th, like I said, because we're not going to do a show the week of Christmas. And it'd
be nice to have you on for that one, Racer.
Yeah.
You can see how I sell the pile driver in that one.
Yeah, because that's a Dayton Pole Barn show, and Dixie Dave's on the show, so Racer would be able to watch you. Come on. He says he's ready, so maybe we can get him on that show, Dave.
Hey, Racer, after the show is over, get a hold of me.
Yeah, I have him on my messenger too. I can message him as well.
Knock it off, Jason.
Yeah, be awesome. So, what do we got here? Conan is in there, and yeah, I think for some reason Tim wasn't here today, Dave, on this taping Thandar, so the Conan's flying solo without Thandar. So that's why he's teamed up with Dr. Destruction here.
With you talking about how Ice Dragon enjoyed testing people,
yeah,
Conan is not somebody he wants to test.
No, but Chris, make no mistake about it, Chris is not afraid of anybody. Like, he would stand up to Thandar, he'd stand up to anybody. And I remember him and Thandar going toe-to-toe one time. Yeah, and Chris isn't the smartest there, but Chris would not back down from any challenge. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Grabs his leg. Bomb comes in. There goes the hat.
And you can read that message from Racer there, Dave. That's to you.
Boy, okay. Working on him.
Look at Kelsey interfering. He's a manager. He's supposed to be a babyface manager, but man, Kelsey, he broke the rules more than any of us.
Okay, Racer, we'll do.
Conan is working on Ice Dragon. Dr. Destruction tries to get Rock and Runabout, but
So that's tough, Tony commentating. He's the one that ends up getting the giggles here a little bit later. And I look at it now and I'm like, Tony, you shouldn't be on the commentating table if you can't commentate with a straight face. What are you doing? That's me in 2020 hindsight vision, right, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah. We're just being... You got to remember, we were kids. I got to remind myself of that.
Somebody was trying to jump on Jerry's back.
Yeah, that was Ronabom's friend, who's his manager, Bad Brainy or whatever you call him, and he would always come with Chad to the shows, and it was just Chad's really good friend that he had, and he just had him as his manager for a while there. Yeah, the Express tackled Kelsey, and they asked me, they said, Sean, can we tackle Kelsey? Because the Ragnarok Express had watched the show for years, and they always couldn't stand Matt because he was always cheating. So they just wanted to come out there and attack him like that. That's what that was all about.
Yeah.
That's why Matt was laughing. Yeah, this is footage from that first Armory event we did. Anoka Armory. So we started making little promo pieces like this. And now this was I had to reconstruct this whole thing. These are little like, we had a whole show of these. And so I would then sprinkle these in episodes after we did this show. So it's just a little highlight video of the Super Ds.
They lost 15, although they were the tag team of the year because they put in so much effort.
But yeah, we had a whole show of just this little video things. And I saved it and I kept it. And so as we watch shows, you'll see these things kind of sprinkle in. But I have to recreate these, which isn't easy because there are a lot of stills, a lot of slow-mos. So we're seeing some garage footage here, the Super D. So here's some of the slow-mo stuff I had to recreate. Looks better now, though, doesn't it, Dave? That back in the day.
Yep.
So we had to do makeshift slow motion back then. Had this like fuzzy line in the middle. Boy, some of this garage footage cleans up really nice, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Look at how nice and crystal clear this is now. Sports Video's got a question on when this video's done. I'll answer that. And Dave will get your answer on it as well. Yeah, the tag rope. We were big on the tag ropes. In fact, sometimes if the ref didn't see you use the tag rope, he wouldn't let you tag. I remember that happening a few times. Super D's got the ring bell. Our ring bell. He's hitting everybody with the damn bell. He's got it in his right hand there.
Yep.
Super D's were good. They went on to become professional soccer players, you guys. Actual athletes they were.
Yep.
Let's get to that question with Sports Video. He says, how hard was it to balance wrestling with other things in life like school and work? Well, that wasn't easy. I mean, I don't know what it was like for you guys, but for me, it was difficult because I put wrestling before school. I mean, this was my priority. You know, this was on my mind 24/7.
Well, for me, school was Monday through Friday. Saturdays was wrestling.
The national
Right.
champion coming in from Austin.
I mean, but if I was in school and I was in study hall, I wasn't studying. I was coming up with matches for the next show.
Yep.
You know, I used school as much. I did what I had to. I did the minimum. But then I was doing everything, you know, for the league as much as I could in my free time at school. So as far as that's just school, I didn't really have a job. Not until later.
Yeah, I was still too young for a job.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NWF. The Major League
It's kind of funny. We did our first Armory event. We had to come up with the money all on our own, and none of us had a job, Dave. None of us worked except Steve, and he didn't donate a dime.
Jumps like a shoe. Referee can't see it.
You know, Steve Angstrom.
Taylor, the
Yep.
national champion, steps in.
Pretty boy Taylor.
Kick the stomach, doesn't
And
face
then
it. Forearm
Wayne
smack,
was saying good use of the tag rope. He noticed we were using the tag ropes, and that's how he's saying, yeah, you can see the tag rope hanging there. See it right on the left right turnbuckle there?
Kelsey, and another referee is trying to break it up. The
We had
outside
tag
referee
ropes
trying to
for
stop
that,
Crossen.
you know, and you know what? They don't. Do they even use them anymore, Dave?
Beat us in a fair match.
You know, I haven't really watched in so
Why
long.
don't you try wrestling fair once?
How about Wayne? He might know the answer to that. Do they use the tag ropes
Back to
anymore?
the
Is that
action.
still a thing?
Kelsey pounds, waiting. He bounces, kicks out Taylor's leg.
Just curious.
I really don't think that, like
Kelsey
WWE, they
went back,
do.
introduced another piece, another foreign object. Referee can't see
Now
it.
you might hear me on the outside telling
Crossen
Steve
looks
to
innocently as he
give him a
paces around
wrestling
the ring.
lesson, slam him, and this and that.
Taylor set up.
'Cause I always want to toughen Kelsey up. Kelsey was so afraid to take bumps. So anytime I had somebody like Steve,
Kelsey was
I
stopped
wanted
with
him
a
to give him a body
hamstrings.
slam. I wanted him to suplex him. I wanted him to do, because that's how you get over it, Dave. You know this.
Yep.
So I get over that fear
Kelsey hasn't
factor.
let up. There hasn't been any offense.
And Wayne says,
What does this like? Step over toe hold.
Yes, there is still a thing. Okay.
Pulls it-
I'm just
leans
curious.
back,
Because I was
pressure.
talking to Ricky about that, Canary Kid.
It's like he might be
And he
set up
says
for
they
a
never
big
use
four.
them
Oh, Kelsey pushed
in
off.
their tag matches.
Monkey flip coming.
So I thought was
Kelsey
interesting.
catches it in the stomach.
So they don't even
Taylor
have
down.
them on
Referee's
their
down,
rings over there in Ireland.
but not out.
it's a lost art.
Yeah. You know what else is a lost art?
Taylor picking up Kelsey. Kelsey's out.
2 out of 3
Referee
falls.
checking
Remember
Taylor's knee
those?
pads. Crossen
Oh,
was
yeah.
hitting before an object.
I don't think we ever did. We never did any 2 out of 3 falls on the NWF.
Lands right
Now that
on
I
his
think of
foot.
it. But I remember seeing those on
Elbow smash
AWA.
follow-up by Taylor.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's like a
AWA,
blatant choke.
NWA.
It's like a blatant choke. Referee can't see. He's out of position.
Nowadays you do more like best
Taylor
of
with a
7
smash to the head.
series.
Looks like he's on the offense
Yeah.
now. Kelsey on his back.
Notice the
WWE
rec-
just did one of those not too long ago.
Notice Tough Tony's got the ref shirt tucked
in.
in. Looking professional.
Yep.
Headlock now by Taylor, cinching it up.
Whereas I'm sure you were grumbling about me.
Hey, I found some footage, Dave. You know, I've been transferring footage, like I told you, getting things ready for future transfers.
Yep.
And I found some footage of me with the ref shirt tucked in.
Waiting behind.
Oh
Can you
my
believe
gosh,
it?
miracles happen.
I know. I like, wow, I did tuck it in now and then.
He's trying to drag him. He's hanging on the rope. He won't give. Crossen comes down for the top
And I'm
rope.
just interfering in the match.
Misses himself. Thundar's
Now you're lucky I wasn't the referee of that match.
Barbarian's in.
What would you have done? Disqualified us?
Kelsey still
Yep.
working that left egg.
As much as I've disliked Steve over the years, he would have won that match.
Near corner. Crossen there now. Adds his
I
Yes.
always followed the rules, no matter what.
And another shot. Referee
You know, we had
control
good turnbuckle pads on this ring. They were better than the when we got the professional ring. The professional ring had crappy turnbuckle pads. These were actually good.
Looks like set up.
What I would have
They were
done is I would have taken the turnbuckles off of these,
And kept them.
kept them, and put them on the new ring.
I know we should have.
To the head by Taylor.
We should have.
Of headbutt to
So
the
this
stomach
ring,
by
the bad
Kelsey.
part about this ring is if you land in the corner, like if you come off the top rope and land in the corner of the ring, you would bust the support. And Steve did it. I think Steve does it in this match, I think. Or maybe he did it in the last match.
2, 3. Kelsey's your winner by pinfall.
So Kelsey beats Pretty Boy Taylor in a non-title bout, so he doesn't get the belt.
And this is what would lead to their match where Kelsey got the broken arm.
Crossing into the ring. Blindsides Taylor. And here comes the Barbarian.
Sports Talk says I got one for you on this one. Sports Talk. He says, "What was the funniest thing that happened in practice or a match?" Well, the funniest thing that ever happened, and I've told it before, but maybe you didn't hear it, but
No, off the rope.
when we first built the ring in my garage, when we got kicked out of Group W cable and we had to go to my garage for the first time, we just brought the wood posts into the garage ring and just built them into the garage ring with the same wood posts we had in Group W studio. But what I did is I drilled through them and I actually put eye bolts and tightened the ropes up properly so that you could actually then hit the ropes like real ropes. I didn't have turnbuckles yet, but I at least had eye bolts through them and I had the ropes tight. And my friends were over that lived next door to me. And they were just checking out the ring, and I said, "Look, we can actually hit the ropes now." And I was running as fast as I can, hitting the ropes to show them. And all of a sudden, that one post in the one corner cracked and broke when I hit it. And I went flying out into my beer can collection.
78 degrees.
And yeah, embarrassed / hurt because it hurt.
Yeah.
You know, landed on the concrete and everything. And they all started laughing when that happened.
Tony.
And I looked at it and I said, "Hey, guys, I think we need to get steel posts." And they laughed again. And that's when I made the call to my dad, who worked down at the Energy Center downtown in Minneapolis. I said, "Dad, I need some steel posts. Can you help me?" He's like, "I think I can get some for you." They had tons of piping and stuff like that down there. So he got me 4 posts.
Yep.
He also got me the post for this ring. So these white posts were from my dad as well.
Now, for me, the funniest thing was the show that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I take a pile driver that totally freaks you out.
Yeah.
And
The Empire State Building style pile driver. Or you're straight vertical.
Yep.
Yep.
No reversal by
And
arm drag, and he takes him down. Holding on to the arm bar.
my cell was so good on it, Crusher thought I was actually injured.
Headbutt by Sergeant
Because I
Smash.
came into the ring.
Yep.
Down in the corner.
I don't know if you played it all the way through.
What's this coming off?
No, because the tape cuts off. We don't have it all.
Yeah. But I sold that pile driver so good.
He wants to hurt his man.
If the tape would have caught it, you would have seen Crusher coming in to check on me.
And the Russian misses and hits him with a kick to the
And
midsection.
as I hear him sliding into the ring, I sit up and I say, "How was that?"
Now he sets him up, throws Smash into the ropes. What's it gonna be? Drop kick by the Russian.
Tough Tony against Sergeant Smash.
Down, and he's hurt.
That's what we're watching here.
Turned in the favor of the Russians at this point. Setting him up the ropes again.
Well, the guy that did, I remember the July Armory card. I don't. You weren't there because you were in Florida.
Right.
But Bulldog the Butcher wanted to get out of it. He didn't want to wrestle anymore. He wanted to be a commentator. But he never told me he was going to do this. But he had the Barbarians throw him into the locker. And he was like, he sold it like he was actually hurt. And then nobody knew because he didn't tell anybody he's going to do this. So people thought he really was hurt. They came back to me and they said, "Sean, you better come out here. Troy's really hurt. He got thrown into the lockers." I'm like, "What?" I went running out there. And there was a bunch of people already around him, and he's just like acting like he's in tears, like he's really hurt. And like, what the hell's going on? Then Troy Otto, Bulldog Butcher, he's like, "I'm just selling it. I'm just selling it." And he's like smiling at me, like, "You son of a." I could have just wrung his neck right there, because I thought he was hurt. I remember we got in the back locker room. I said, "Troy, you gotta communicate with us and let us know you're gonna do something like this." About gave us all a heart attack.
And you see, the thing about Bulldog is, I can't remember what caused it, but his arm was kind of naturally bent funny.
Yeah.
So when he was selling, it looked like his arm was actually messed up.
Yeah. But this was Butcher's way of getting put out of wrestling so that he could then go to the commentating table and be a heel commentator, and that's what he did for us from that point on.
Yep.
He's pretty good at it too, being a commentator. He's kind of like the Jesse the Body Ventura style commentator, a heel commentator.
Yep.
No, he's not going to set him up. Yes, he is. Looks like DDT. No.
Smash is trying to do a suplex. Let's see if he does one here. There he goes.
Nice suplex.
You know, the ring wasn't the best to land on. There's no spring or anything in this thing. This is their like I said, this is the last time this is our makeshift ring here. Everything after this show was our professional ring that we ended up getting. But
yep. Okay, this ring may not have been as good as the professional ring that we had, but this ring was a lot better than the Fred Moore ring.
Oh yeah.
We have here your three-man commentating team. Kid USA, Kelsey, Ray Johnson, and
Chris Barger from the Rack and Roll.
Chris Barger.
I was talking to Ricky today on a WhatsApp call. We were talking to each other, Canary Kid, and he was telling me about a time he had to do a match in a boxing ring over there. They had a boxing ring for instead of a wrestling ring, and he said it had no spring whatsoever. It was just stiff. And he said it hurt. He goes, "I don't know how you guys did it." You know, because he said that he couldn't. You know, that was not fun.
That's how I broke into the business, Ricky. So if you watch this, now you can respect how I broke into the business.
Russian hammer to the chest. It doesn't seem to phase Mr. Smash now at all. Oh, now here he comes.
Oh, onto the ring.
Onto the floor. Referee begins the count. And Ice Dragon is over here checking out on Sergeant Smash.
Ice Dragon helping him back into the ring. Sergeant Smash, he literally pushes him in.
Smash is getting a little bit peeved with Ice Dragon for throwing him into the ring before he was ready. Don't know what could come out of that.
Now, I don't know, is Ice Dragon in Smash's corner? What's going on here?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I thought he was carrying the flag when he came in.
Maybe
Somebody
he
was
was.
coming in with Smash carrying the flag. I just assumed it was Kelsey.
Dave, what do you remember about a funniest thing that happened in a practice or a match? Do you remember anything?
Like I said, the first one that jumps out at me was that pile driver that'll air on December 1st.
Oh, the fact that you sold it so well.
And I scared the piss out of you.
Well, yeah, because we don't. I can count, guys. We did this show for 5 years, about a good 4 years, solid, and I can count. And we've had a weekly show all the time, right? Doing matches and tapings like this. I can count in one hand how many times somebody got hurt. So anytime somebody potentially got hurt, I was all ears. It was a concern.
He is down. Oh no, and Sergeant Smash
But
down. What's this?
like I said, I can count in one hand, believe it or not, how many times somebody got hurt. And people say, how's that possible? You guys didn't know what you were doing. True. But we self-taught ourselves, and we weren't in there to hurt one another, you guys. You got to remember that. People don't understand that. The object wasn't to hurt, even when it was shoot title match days. We still weren't trying to hurt each other.
We were trying to put on a good product.
Yeah, we're just trying to put on a good show. Even in a shoot match.
Coming in first, this will be for the NWF.
And if you're not trying to hurt one another, like the idiots in backyard wrestling of the 90s got into, all the pain they could do,
yeah,
that's a whole different thing. But our object, that's why I always say, Wayne, I don't like to compare us to that backyard stuff, because it was two different mentalities. We were trying to put on a performance, trying to put on a show. Those backyarders in the 90s, for the most part, were trying to inflict pain on one another, and that was their thing. How much pain can you take? Whoever can take the most pain is the best, right?
Yeah.
We never looked at it that way. I always felt that you lost the whole art of professional wrestling if that's the way you think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because that's not the mentality. It's not how you should be thinking.
Exactly. I mean,
and that's my only beef with Backyard Dave. I don't want to talk down to the guys who are maybe doing it today or trying to do it right. There are those out there that are trying to do it right. But for all you guys trying to inflict pain on one another with light tubes and pizza cutters and whatever else, that's not wrestling, guys.
No. The art of professional wrestling is telling a story, drawing your audience in by what you're doing in the ring.
Crossen against Mr. X.
Exactly.
And with me now is the Mr. Nice Guys.
All right, Crossen against Mr. X. Not one of our best matches, but it's not bad either. It's not one of our best. I almost fall off the top rope in this one. Kelsey has to catch me. What's that? Steve doing double? Yeah. You'll watch me go up on the top rope in the left corner there, closest to us, and I almost fall off, and Kelsey catches me. If Kelsey wouldn't have been there, I would have fallen off. I'll never forget that. Yeah, ref with the shirt untucked. However, Wayne, it's untucked, but it doesn't look bad here, does it? Because it doesn't look like a dress. I just hated it when it was on us little kids and it looked like a damn dress.
See, now granted, I didn't have it tucked in, but it didn't look like a dress on me.
Right. If it doesn't look like a dress, it's not so bad. But even so, to be completely professional, heck, I'd even have some that have the Super D's tucking the shirt on when they're wearing shorts. Now that looked weird, but they still would tuck the shirt in, right?
Yeah.
We could get them in the ring. We could beat them. They're a bunch of slouches.
I hear Mr. Macho commentating.
Yeah, but this is while Macho's still babyface.
Well, he just joined. This is his first show.
Which means the Barbarians beat him.
Yeah. I got a feeling they cheated.
That's a good point, Wade.
But they cheated somehow.
He says, first time I've seen a barefoot ref. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen a barefoot ref as well. The heck, Mike?
Referee checking.
Mike Bauer in there reffing.
Bring something out. Checks the elbow pads. Big elbow smash from Crossen.
Chris Parker making his debut as a commentator right now.
Yep.
Another big
very good at color commentating. He was.
Elbow if you want. Oh, and X shaking his head. That one hurt.
He has that radio voice, you know.
He's telling that Crossen's got a loaded elbow. I seriously doubt that.
Neck breaker
on Mr. X by Crossen.
If you notice, there's certain, like a lot of us have our arsenal of moves that we like to always do. And neck breaker was one of mine. I always like to do a neck breaker if I could.
And the leg drop.
Leg drop, power elbow. That's a power elbow, how I wind it up like that. I call that a power elbow drop.
Flying knee to the arm of Mr. X. X is really
Then I do my chicken wing.
at this point. Setting it up for
You know, one of these days we're gonna
shot to the elbow. That had to hurt.
before you go visit Ireland, we're gonna have to get together.
And now Kelsey trying to get the chant.
I'll have to teach you a move
That's kind of
for
impossible, seeing that X is from parts unknown.
your match.
That I can do to Rick, that I can do to Canary Kid if I can catch him. Remember, he's going to be running from me like he's going to be running from me. He's not going to even get in my vicinity because he knows what's going to happen.
You never know. I mean, you know, come on, Crusher. You know, you are in your 50s. He's only a teenager.
I'll have a better chance wrestling John McCann or Ben Nelson. You know, they already said they get in the ring with me. Sports Talk says, did you guys ever get rope burn on your head from being rubbed on the ropes? You know, like when somebody brings you on the top rope and runs you across? No, because we were never. You got to remember, Sports Talk, we're not really doing that. We're selling that. So nobody's actually getting their forehead rubbed over the top rope. We're just making it look like we are.
Worst case, you get rope burn on your thumb from doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that happened more. Not so much your forehead deal.
X with the headbutt. Now he's setting up.
You know, if you're doing it properly, you're getting rope burn on your thumb.
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, and a reverse.
Did I fall off the top rope yet?
It looked like a suplex. He took the legs right out from under Crossen.
I don't know if it happened yet. I think it's coming up here.
Both men hurting now. Crossen holding his head.
I don't know why I'm holding my head.
X setting him up. What's it gonna
Well, you
be?
landed funny.
Into the turnbuckles he goes. Comes off. Hip toss. And Titus turned, and now Mr. X
Communication blunder with Steve and I there. I think.
Crossen.
Same with that. He's trying to just. He tried to Irish whip me, and I was trying to just do a veal throw. Steve and I didn't do that right. He's just flipping me with one arm.
Now what's it gonna be?
I remember Eddie Sharkey corrected us on that.
No river. Oh my God!
In training camp.
By Mr. X. But Crossen's got his feet on the ropes. The referee's sure to see that.
See if I do. I think I'm going to go on the top rope here pretty quick, and I'm going to fall off. And it was embarrassing.
Now Kelsey hanging onto the ropes. Small package. He does it. He flipped it over. No, neither man is pinned. No, there is.
Thank God Kelsey's in my corner though, because he catches me here. So I don't fall.
Crossen first on his feet. Drags X up. What's he
Never go to the top rope when your bell's been rung.
Drops him.
See, Steve still didn't have the slams right. He would get real twisty with me when I try to slam him. He didn't have that down yet.
Throws him to the ropes.
See, even there, he's kind of like awkward on that power slam. Steve got really good with that after a few months though here. He got really smooth with doing that stuff.
The fans are calling for a much faster paced match. Crossen sets him up. Big clothesline. That has got to be out. That has got to be lights out for Mr. X.
Yeah, here's where I think I'm going to fall off the damn rope.
Or not Kelsey's.
Off the top rope here when I climb it.
Sets him up.
Watch Kelsey. Luckily, Kelsey was right there.
Off the top rope. This would be sweet if he can pull it off. The super fall. And he falls.
And now, by the time I get up there, it's too late. X is getting up and.
Chance to come back. It could have been over.
Yeah.
Kelsey's laughing at you.
Hey, what can you do?
Knee lift to the face by X. X would have been out, but Crossen could not get his balance on the ropes. And now X is back on his feet, delivers two rights to the jaw of Crusher Crossen. A boot to the chest from
I never went to the top rope. I wasn't willing to risk the balance issues.
It's very, I'm usually pretty good. Like a Kelsey making sure I don't fall again. Kelsey had his hand up there just in case.
No, he kicks out on the count of two.
See, Kelsey's very upset. He wants a faster count, but he's not going to get it because the referee.
I often wondered, how did Kelsey get voted in as the manager of the year when he did? Yeah, he managed a lot of people though. If you think about it, he was always in the corner of guys.
Yeah, he enjoyed his time on camera.
Yeah.
Crossen had his arms tied up in the rope, and just as X came by to deliver the death blow, Crossen ducked, and X is out of the ring. Crossen coming around, trying to follow him up.
These two
referee beginning. Oh, into the ring post.
I believe we have a new viewer, Crusher.
On the far side of the ring.
Oh, dude, love 86. What is this? This is from 1986. This
This
is
is the National Wrestling Federation.
Victory, Crossen.
Yep.
Now Kelsey comes over to get
The
the
best
look
of
at
junior
this.
professional wrestling.
This is
some
arrogance
people
in the
might
highest
mistake it
degree,
for
I tell you.
backyard just because we're in a backyard, but backyard didn't
X
exist
walks in and
yet.
rolls in is more likely the term I ought to use. Double knee smash
yeah.
to the back. The kidneys of Mr. X got it.
Welcome
right
in. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Give it a
It's
like
always-
if you do.
It's always nice to see new people come in and stuff.
Oh, a big
People come in and like we've been answering questions all
Crossen gets the pin.
night.
Crossen gets the pin over Mr. X with a big
Yeah, see, I don't have my regular blue belt here, you guys, because I'm using the national title for the world title because Steve was trying to teach me a lesson,
Ladies and gentlemen,
but I lost it
your winner and
at the
still
Anoka
champion,
Armory.
Crusher Crossen.
You know, because we had just did the Anoka Armory event a few weeks ago from this taping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and coming in for an interview, we have Crusher Crossen. Crusher Crossen coming back for an interview.
What a heel move.
You know something? There we go. I want to know why I'm scheduled to go against Mr. X at the Anoka Armory because I just pinned the guy. So I think there's a mistake. We better switch the card. Mr. X's history. Mr. X2 is history. Pretty Boy Taylor is history.
Crusher.
Hey, they're all history.
Crusher trying to cover up the national for a minute there.
And I'm feeling great, as you can see.
Yeah, that's the national
Lost a little
title.
bit on a Superfly, but I did accomplish it. And
You want a title? I'm right here.
I was actually pissed that Chris interrupted me there. I'm like, get out of here, it's my interview.
Challenger title we do have.
Remember, this is a show where Chris tested me too, and I had to put his ass down.
Jake.
Yep.
Off camera.
Rattlesnake Jake Jr.?
No. Rattlesnake
Let me tell you
Jake.
something. I've seen the man. I've wrestled him. He's not nothing new. And I pinned him, so fine with me. Next week, I'll take on the snake again. For the 4th time, as far as I know. Fine with me.
All right, ladies and
You know,
gentlemen.
I just can't help it. I can't help it. Taylor is gone. Mr. X is gone. X2 is gone. The Barbarians and Dr. Destruction and Kelsey were all formed. Nothing's going to stop us. Nothing. Not even Dixie Dave.
Not even Dixie Dave, I said.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and
Take
coming
that,
in
Dave.
for an interview, after match interview is
Hey, I
Mr.
was
X.
just a rookie at this point.
I think this is where Steve tries to introduce Luscious
I don't
Larry.
care what kind of partner Crossen gets. He can get his United States connection or his Polish power behind together. I went all over.
Or maybe he brings him in.
This guy has been out for a while. I brought him back. And that's none other. I'm telling you right now, Kelsey, Crusher Crossen, the whole connection. You better pack a lunch because it's going to be a long time before this match is even over. My partner's Luscious Larry. He's coming into camera view.
Yeah, he does come in.
This guy
Trying
here
to puff himself out.
Yeah.
is going to turn
He was a big guy. Make no mistake
Oh, yeah.
about it.
into a slaughterhouse.
But you talk about green and not knowing what the hell he's doing yet.
You're done. Your history.
I think I'm more polished than he was.
It's going to be a long time.
Right. You know, he came up to me after the show and he says, how about if I do a match with Steve? I'm like, no. If we're going to have you on the October card, they're not going to see you until the October card.
Coming back.
You're going to be the special attraction.
Coming back there.
Yep.
And, coming in now, Dr. Destruction.
So yeah, I was totally against him
I'd like to-
wrestling before the Armory event.
I'd like to issue a challenge. Me and Dixie Dave would like to challenge the Mr. Nice Guys. Ha! What a name. Come here, Dixie
And
Dave.
that's Dr. Destruction.
I've challenged
There's
one of
Dave.
them. I beat him. I DT'd him. I splashed him. I got the 3 count. He can...
We want him in the ring right now.
Looks like Dr. D just ended that
Hey,
interview.
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it? Heard it from Dixie
Look at Dave being a heel.
And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this Dixie Dave character makes a Slick Steenerson look like a beanpole.
Yeah, Dave was a big kid.
Challenge.
Big kid back then.
Ladies and gentlemen, going for commentary.
So the Mr. Nice Guys, these guys are all like brand new.
The only one that's got any experience in the ring is Roundabout.
You mean Rancor?
Or Rancor, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Sports Talk says, damn, Dave was a badass back then.
Still am.
Look, guys, we've talked about it before. Dave might have not been technically sound. He might have not been the best bumper, but his heart was bigger than anybody in this ring right now, as far as being all in on the show.
One of them will be the Tiger Master.
I mean,
from Asia.
You can't, and that's the kind of stuff Racer talks about with us. You can't. They're guys that
you can teach somebody how to do the moves. You can teach somebody how to talk. You can't teach heart and passion.
Yeah, you cannot teach passion. You cannot teach heart, and that's why I've always said I'd rather take people like Dixie Dave versus people like Dr. Destruction. Not that Destruction was bad, but I mean somebody technically sound like that. Because if Chad Rancor had a bad attitude, but he was really good in the ring, that's gonna go south. It's just not gonna work.
But you know, Chad was a pretty good guy. I mean, look at it. He took a green guy like me under his wing.
No. That was a bad comparison. Like, I'm trying to think, who can I think of that was really good but had a crappy attitude?
Dr. D. And who are these two in the red shirts? Mr. Nice Guys. Mr. Nice Guys.
I mean, in a way, Brian Peterson. Excellent in the ring. He was really good. It could do all that for the time period. He's really good at things. But just a horrible attitude.
With,
off camera.
Yeah, that's his name.
Arguably, Thandar.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
really good in the ring, but not the best attitude all the time. Off the camera, right?
Crusher! Shine!
Why are they calling me? They want me over there for something.
Who's on the camera?
Is that Kelsey in the corner?
Yeah. Kelsey's in your corner. And I'm in your corner as well.
Yeah.
Steve Owens was suspended for stealing a Rambo knife.
Oh,
from the
that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to know. Jason wanted me over there because he goes, "Can I say that Steve Owens stole a Rambo knife from Target?" Because I guess he did.
Mr. Steve Owens, alias Brutus Markov,
and he wanted to announce it.
For, shoplifting.
He was shoplifting at Target, I guess, and got caught. And Jason wanted to announce it. They were Jason and Steve Owens grew up together. They lived down the street from each other. They were fighting with each other at the time, so Jason just wanted to kind of throw his name under the bus.
Yeah,
that's all that was.
And they're taking Dizzy Dave weighing in at a most unlean, staggering, most unlean.
That's Mr. Macho in the ring there. It doesn't even look like Mr. Macho the way his hair is and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes Slick Steenerson look like a beanpole, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't lie to you.
A discus punch. That's the first time I've ever seen any of us use that.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Destruction.
That was a Kerry Von Erich move.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, world class influence right there.
Yeah.
There. Oni takes the Mr. Destroyer right off.
Who is reffing here? Is that Jay?
I think so.
I think it's Jay Downs. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, quite spectacular. Once again, Brutus Markov.
And Mr. Macho, very, he always wrestled barefoot, you guys. That's nothing uncommon. Some guys liked wrestling barefoot. Macho was one of them.
Yep. I did until I got my boots.
Yeah.
And then mysteriously those boots disappeared on me at a show.
Any idea where those went?
I have no idea.
I don't know. You know, I mean.
What? Oh!
I know Dr. Dread had a pair of boots that was pretty close to the ones I wore.
Well, they said DD, and I believe that stood for Dr. Dread.
No, but.
Well, you see, my boots said DD.
Oh, and he's tripped.
That stood for Dixie Dave.
Oh, and he tags with Dizzy Dave. Oh. Dizzy Dave, the King Kong Bunny.
See, now that I cleaned up the audio, you can hear everything.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, Coming in.
So you can hear all the talking going on behind off camera now.
Ladies and
Never
gentlemen,
could ever really make
hold
that
on.
out before.
Coming in.
Canary Kid, that
Coming
was
in
a
to
hamstring
announce-
pull that he
coming
just
in
did
to
to me.
announce something about the suspension
Yeah,
of
I know.
Mr. Steve
He knows now. Every time I bring him up, he goes, I know now. I know now.
Oh yeah, suspended indefinitely
Yeah.
from the NWF, and that's it. I don't want to talk about it. What now?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from James Wilson.
Mr. Destroyer, did an elbow drop to Dave.
Oh, he's Dr.
Yep.
Mr. One count, 2 count. Mr. Destroyer pins Dizzy Dave. Dizzy Dave takes.
I
off
wasn't
with
ready for the
Dr.
match to be done
Destruction.
yet.
No.
Dr. Destruction. Oh, what was that? What an acrobat! Good move.
Yeah, we do this taping outside with this ring, and then
Ooh.
a little bit after this, we do a bunch of tapings in the driveway with the regular real ring.
Ref isn't counting. Oh,
Yep. This was just before I went to Florida.
Yeah.
He's taken down.
And you weren't there for that. And then we did one in the backyard in the same spot, but we had the camera up on the garage roof,
This guy.
Yep.
looking
which
down
we
on the
don't know
ring.
the name of.
I would have done more of these. Kelsey loved these. I would have done more of these. But remember, I was sneaking these shows against my mom's knowledge. Because if my mom knew I did these, knowing what the insurance agent said, I'd be in big trouble.
His what?
I'm going to take away Sports Talk's comment there.
Yeah. Because the insurance agent threatened to cancel our homeowner's policy if we kept doing these shows on the property. So I was just doing these, when she was at work. Yep, during the week when she was at work.
Destruction taking him. Oh, and he slams him down. Oh, and Mr. Destroyer slammed by the weight of trying to pick up Dizzy Dave or Dixie
Had to
Dave.
dive out of the ring.
Dr. Destruction down onto the grass carpet.
Dr. Destruction.
Oh, he's counting 1.
Grass
2.
carpet.
Oh, 2 count.
Yeah.
The Dixie Dave.
Hey, I had to show I was a fighter.
Oh, a head crack.
Yeah.
Right between the knees.
Why am I up on the ring apron? I'm not even in this match.
What's going on?
You're trying to scout the greatness. See what you have to avoid.
I don't know why I'm on the
Not a
apron.
weather warning.
I believe you beat Mr. Destroyer in a singles match in the show before this, right?
Special announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Coming
But
up
now
in
Mr.
July,
Destroyer got his
Anoka
vengeance there because now he got the pinfall on you.
a spectacular event.
And now look at Dr. Destruction's attacking you as his, you were his partner.
Match between Crusher Crossen and Mr. X.
So Sports Video wants to know, guys, who was the toughest opponent you faced?
Uh-oh. Tornado warning.
For me, it's a toss-up. Thandar was tough, for real, and I went against him, and that was tough. He was tough. He was a legitimate tough guy. The other tough, but you know who else was very tough? Slick Steenerson.
Yeah.
He was a tough kid. Nice guy, funny, but if you were on his bad side, look the hell out with Troy.
Yep.
Yeah, because he was a tough kid.
How you doing?
He was a prankster. He's a jokester, and if you were his friend, he'd have your back laughing. Yeah, but I remember when we were going to school, somebody crossed him in gym about, I don't know, it was about the wrestling show or whatever, and Troy beat the heck out of this kid in gym class and got suspended for a week. So yeah, yeah, that was Troy. If you got on his bad side.
Too hard, because when we're the Rock and Roll Express, when you're the Rock and Roll Express, you don't fight for things; they come to you. And we're out here to make things safe.
And it wasn't like a proud moment for Troy either. Like I remember when that happened, I talked to him about it. Like he didn't really like to even talk about what happened when that happened. I don't think he'd like that side of him.
And we're here for a little.
But it was like one of those things, temper snaps,
Yep. Till you guys do with us, and Larry, until you suffer all the pain, blues, and agony we can dish out, then we'll just see how tough you really are. Next week,
You know, our theme song's Helter
This
Skelter.
is the debut of the
Next week,
Rock and
you're
Roll
gonna find
Express
out
on
why,
this
'cause when
taping.
the dust clears and the Rock and Roll Express is standing on top, we're going to use you as a stepping stone to the title.
All right.
Kelsey, the Rock and Roll Express.
Gino Hernandez, yeah.
You're our first station.
It's a good
All right,
point.
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it
Yep.
from the Rock and Roll
Wayne
Express.
McCartney says that guy looks like Gino Hernandez. That was Mike
I knew
Bauer,
that
yeah, and he
was
did. He
Siri.
did. I can see that. I can see it.
Coming in. What?
Get to the next interview.
See that?
One quick thing. The Rock and Roll Express ain't gonna get to Mr. X and Luscious Larry before I do because I want their hides first. First come, first serve around here.
Kelsey
And I'm
laughing.
gonna get I'll take X, our Luscious Larry.
I got an idea. You got 2 guys? We got 2 guys? Larry, Taylor, or X, rather? Any 2 people you want. Anybody in the whole world. You can go get Hulkster and Andre for all I care. The 4 of us. And the 4 of you.
And an
Next week.
8-man tag.
8-man tag, brother.
Take it or leave it. That's right. Hold on, I gotta. And as you know, my partner is none other than.
This is where I was
Dr.
teaming with Dr.
Destruction
Destruction
for
for a
these
while.
I don't need these.
So,
That stupid Dixie Dave.
oh, Dave.
Hey, Dixie Dave's sister. We're talking
Yeah.
about Luscious Larry,
Luscious
Mr.
Larry.
X, Pretty Boy Taylor, or whoever he's gonna get, because I don't know. I don't know.
You guys, worst wrestlers in the world. Each have gotten beat a million times. Who's this Luscious Larry coming back? I'm new here. I don't know who in the heck he is.
You know,
I'm gonna do some
Luscious Larry, you don't scare me. Oh, you're big.
I remember Larry
you're
was
big, you're
laughing
bad.
off camera when
Deep
I did
down,
that.
You have nothing. Because after all, if it, you know, and I don't understand this because I don't think X's and Larry's tag team ain't gonna last too long because X and Larry were feuding just a while
Yeah,
back, and I think
when
that
Luscious
feud
Larry
is
made his
gonna-
debut in the garage, believe it or not,
Why
Dave,
do
he
you
went
think
against
X
Mr.
wears
X.
a mask?
To hide all those zits. Why else? We've said it time and time again. He's hiding his face. He don't like it. And that's just too bad. We're finished. I'm going home now.
I think Luscious Larry should.
I'm already home.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps it up for this spectacular card that you have just seen. Saying goodnight from the Yoho Municipal Arena. This is your announcer, Ray Johnson. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
And that's that same ring, you guys, that was in the backyard. We had it in the Anoka Armory here for the first Armory
Yep.
show. So that's the same wrestling ring.
We were supposed to do a battle royal that night, but that corner broke, and
Yeah, we just couldn't see how we could get everybody in the ring with and we were afraid the ring would break on us if we tried that.
yep.
So, and the paper wrote about all this in the big article they wrote on us covering the league after this show. And luckily, a group out in Hutchinson, Minnesota read that article and realized we needed a wrestling ring. And the rest is history. We lucked out. We got a professional wrestling ring for about, I think it was $300. Can you imagine, Dave? A professional wrestling ring for $300 cash and some car parts.
Yep. Well, here, give me just a second. Give me just a second, and I'll look it up. How big was the ring?
20 by 20. That's that strap match Steve and I had. We're whipping each other with the straps outside the ring there. Then he
Yep.
slammed me on the concrete floor. He did not tell me he was going to do that. That caught me by surprise.
Okay.
Needless to say.
Okay, you paid $300 for the ring back then, right?
Yep, 1986.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now for a 20 by 20 ring currently to purchase.
Now this would be a Lobie. It was 2 feet off the ground too.
Well, I'm just looking in general. They don't give you an
Okay.
option of how high off the ground you are and all that. For just a basic ring, it's $10,000
Yeah.
for just
I
a
mean,
basic, for a
and Dave,
basic 20 by 20.
Dave, you were in that ring. You bumped in that ring. I mean, that was great.
Oh, I love that ring.
That ring, that I still can. One of my favorite ring ever that I've ever been in was that ring. Better than Eddie's ring. You know, better than.
Well, if I remember correctly, at one point, once you and Slick went to go work for Pro Wrestling America.
Yeah.
Didn't the ring go to Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie eventually. Steve, when I was living in Wisconsin, Troy and I owned that ring, and Troy sold it out from under me.
Mm.
And he sold it to Eddie Sharkey. And what Eddie did is Eddie made a mistake. He tried making it smaller. He cut it down and made it 16 by 16. Why would you do that? So then it didn't work right. It wasn't designed to be a 16 by 16 ring. It was a 20 by 20, and all sorts of things are going wrong with whoever modified it. Should have just left it be. It was a 20 by 20 ring. You know?
And if anybody questions my numbers, not to plug anywhere specific, but I went to a website called High Spots. It sells wrestling gear, wrestling boots, wrestling figures, wrestling DVDs.
Yeah, they sell everything.
A reputable company. And on their website, it's $10,000 for a basic wrestling ring, 20 by 20. They give you the option whether you want the 16 by 16 or whatever. But for a 20 by 20, it's $10,000 now.
The thing that was tough, I remember, though, like when me and Steve, we were used. Now, we started out, our ring in the garage started out 10 by 10.
Right.
So I kind of worked my way through all the ring sizes, 10 by 10. And then when we left the garage, it was 15 by 15. We did that ring, that makeshift ring there that we had at the Army was a 16-footer, 16 by 16. And then we got the 20 by 20. And I know that when I got comfortable with the 20 by 20, a lot of the series I was doing then, like the leapfrog series and stuff, where I'd throw Steve in the ropes, I'd leapfrog him, then I'd back leapfrog him, then I'd drop kick him.
Yep.
Well, when we went to do that same series in Eddie Sharkey's ring in that dual event, his ring was 16 by 16. I really noticed the difference in the smaller ring. Like I didn't have as much space. Yeah.
Your timing's totally off when you're used to a bigger ring.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. And, so I know the guys say when they're training and stuff, it's good to train in a small ring because you keep everything in the center. And I suppose that makes sense. But when you have the opportunity to be in a big 20-foot ring, there's things you can do in that ring that you cannot do in the small ring. Plain and simple.
And it's not
you don't have the real
easy
estate.
to rope break.
Yeah, you don't have the real estate and stuff, You don't have the room. So you can't do those nice high back body drops where they go halfway across the ring and land on the other side of it.
Yep.
Right? Can't do that in a small ring. You can't,
your ring, like a flying crossbody block, looks more impressive when you're flying further.
Same with the death leap, Superfly death leap, or frog splash, as my Canary Kid host likes to call it. He always gives me a hard time saying, it's a different move. It's the same damn move. So they do a little thing different with how they're doing it, but it's, it's a death leap. But no, a Superfly death leap, when you're in a big 20-foot by 20-foot, looks so much nicer in a big ring.
Exactly.
Because you got that distance you can go.
Oh, I mean, I got used to the 20 by 20.
Yeah.
I did some work afterwards in a smaller ring, and timing's just not there.
Yep. Let's see. Sky Sports Video News says, what have you learned from mistakes you made as a wrestler / promoter / manager in the past? What have we learned from the mistakes?
Get paid in advance.
If you get paid at all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a loaded question because if you guys know me, I'm a big advocate of you learn from your mistakes.
Right.
And what I mean by that is the only way you succeed is by failing. You have to fall flat on your face and fail in order to succeed because you need to learn from your mistakes. And we made plenty doing the NWF. So every time we failed, I learned something and I took it with me and I made sure we didn't do it again.
Trusting the wrong people.
I'll give you an example of learning from your mistakes. When we did the first Armory event, we did everything right. We plastered the town with posters. We got sponsors. We put posters up. We had advanced ticket sales. When we had the July flop, We didn't do any posters. We didn't do any advanced ticket sales. I figured everybody would just come because they went to the first one. And our show got yanked off the air. All these mistakes were made. So I learned from that and realized that going forward, every time we do a big event at the Armory, we're going to do the same thing we did the first time.
Yep.
And look at how they all turned out great after that, right? So that's learning from your mistakes, you know.
Well, and the best one was the one that you had Dixie Dave on. That was the best drawing card.
But, you know, Crusher Crossen was on that card, too.
You see, Crusher Crossen was also on the July card that flopped.
And where was Dixie Dave for that card?
Florida.
We didn't have Dixie Dave.
Dixie Dave wasn't there and the show flopped. You know,
let me ask you.
Dixie Dave wasn't there for the March show. The attendance wasn't there.
Let's do a straw poll with everybody here, guys, like Sky Sports and all you guys weighing and everybody watching. If Crusher Crossen faced the Canary Kid, and Dave, I want you to weigh in on this too. If Crusher Crossen faces the Canary Kid today, who wins the match? Well, this is just a little lead-in for a forward going next week.
You know, we're saying if Crusher Crossen doesn't have a heart attack in the ring, you know.
I mean, does somebody need to shut up the smart aleck punk kid? Does that need to be me?
Well, you know, I mean, the punk kid may shut up the 5-time loser.
Oh, for my dead body.
Well, that may happen if you climb the ring again.
Wayne McCartney says, Crusher wins. There we go.
Oh, come on, Wayne. Quit being a suck up.
Yeah, Crusher wins. I like the sound of that. See, do you hear that, Canary? Do you hear that, Canary? Sky Sports says Crusher.
Oh, come on. You know, just because Crusher owns the NWF.
Even Damien thinks Crusher. Gizmo, everybody. I guess, you see, and let Canary Kid, let this be a lesson to you. Learn, you know what it is, Dave? He needs to learn respect. He comes on as a smart aleck punk on forward. He thinks he's the main host. He needs to learn to respect. And that's what I'm going to teach him if I ever get him in the ring. Sports Video says Kid No Crusher. Yeah, Sports Video always does cheer for Canary. So this isn't a shocker here. Or no, wait, he said Kid No Crusher. I guess he changed his mind. So that didn't kind of surprise me, though, when he did say Canary first. I wanted to...
What's with everybody sucking up to Crusher? I mean, yes, he was the owner of the NWF. But you see, this match would not be promoted in the NWF ring.
Well, here's the thing, you guys. Canary Kid's a ducker and a dodger. Okay? He keeps coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse on how he cannot have a match with me. Right? But yet, when I talk to his good friend John McCann or his protege Ben Nelson, they all say they'd get in the ring with me. That'd be an honor for them. But the Canary Kid doesn't. So that's when we're going to teach them some respect, Dave. We got to teach them respect. Maybe we need to teach Dixie Dave some respect as well. That can be arranged.
I'm not too worried about Crusher. I mean, come on.
It's a perfect segue, though. I want to talk about what's coming up on our future shows. Yeah, good point. Good point, Wayne. Wayne says it hasn't come in yet, but there we are. It says Crusher has years of experience. Yeah. You know, Canary Kid thinks he knows everything, but look.
Okay,
you still got...
the thing that you guys forget. Crusher Crossen may have years of experience, but he's also got old knees, old back.
Are you trying to tell me that you think Canary Kid would beat the 5-timer of the NWF?
The 5-time loser, you know, why not lose again?
I think this is just, you know what we got here, guys? We got Dixie Dave being sour grapes because he never got the world title either. Just like Canary Kid can't get it 5 times.
I got the world title right up, you know.
But you never won the world title. You know what I meant. I see it up there.
You know, it's hard to win something when the promoter is also the champion and he's ducking and dodging.
Well, it's kind of hard to duck and dodge Dixie Dave.
Well, I mean, you never booked a match.
I tell you what, though, before we get too carried away with the comments, let me show you what's coming up on their next shows. I always like to do this. So next week with me and Canary Kid, we will have a guest with us. And it's going to be San Antonio Style Wrestling's HBK Hillbilly Kid. Excellent gimmick. You know Cotton Eye Joe, right, Dave?
Yep.
That's his ring music, and how fitting for this gimmick, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes sense. And real fun character here. I like it. And so I'm looking forward with Ricky, Canary Kid, joining me here, and we're going to have HBK in. We're going to talk with him. He's coming on with us right before one of their San Antonio shows. They're doing a show that day. So he's going to be on with us, and then he's going to pretty much be done with us, and he's going to be going into the ring. So be a fun show. And really looking forward to talking to him. Maybe who knows? Hernandez might pop in as well. I mean, they might be at the event when he does the interview. So,
And
yeah, that'll be
the Canary Kid's going to be there to class up the show a little bit with me not being there.
Yeah. Thankfully, I carry the Canary Kid and I guide him, and he'll never admit it, but he knows that's the truth. And then on our next upcoming,
he's known as the Canary Kid, but all I hear from you is chirp, 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 chirp.
And our next Kayfabe with Keaton, which is going to follow that forward show. That's this coming Sunday, I believe, right? Let's see here.
Well, we're doing the show today.
Yeah, November 24th. So a week from Sunday, we're going to have from the UK Tuned In Project and Campbell Cray. And Campbell Cray was the one who trained these kids. These are like kids, Dave, that they have disabilities and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Whether they're autistic or whatever the case may be, and they've trained them to be wrestlers, so they can be wrestlers. A very, very cool project here. I'm looking forward to this interview. So it should be pretty fascinating. That's going to be with Keaton. And we're going to have some of the guys on from Tuned In Project, as well as the person who did the training for them to help get them so that they so they could experience, like, you know how it is for us, Dave, how we got to become wrestlers, right?
Right.
This is to let these kids and guys become wrestlers, which is pretty cool. They did a lot of training and preparation for this, and they did a show, and it went over real well. Got a lot of publicity too. It's be a fascinating interview. And then on our next Rewind show, which is going to be next month in December, guys, December 12th, I believe, is when we're going to be back. And yep, Thursday, December 12th, and it's going to be Studio Taping 98. And you see Crusher Crossen getting slammed off the top rope by Slick Steenerson. And if Canary Kid thinks he's going to do that to me, he's got another thing coming. Because that's just not going to happen. Because Canary Kid is no Slick Steenerson. Let's just say that. Are you going to argue with that one, Dave?
Slick Steenerson was a one of a kind.
Yeah, Steenerson was definitely one of a kind. Good guy.
I'd love to get him on here.
Yep. So that's what's coming up on our future shows, everybody. And it's been a fun show. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Racer, it was great to see you in here.
Yep.
I don't know if he's still with us, but we got to get Racer. Maybe Racer can join us on December 12th, Dave. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. I mean, I'm looking it up real quick. If we're closed now, go ahead and close it out, and I will let you know all the deets. Let's see. Yes, our next show would be December 12th. And once this show goes off the air, I will contact Racer. If you want, give me a call, Crusher, and I can get us a three-way going with Racer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't need to be on the call. We just got to get him so we can get him on.
Right.
And I think he wants to come on with us too. So
he
says he's ready.
Racer loves our stuff.
Yeah. And remember, guys, this is a guy that was in the business, in the ring with some prominent guys.
AJ Styles, to name one.
Yeah. And, and to get his take and his input and to hear his comments on all this, it'd be a good thing. I think we'd have fun with that show. So we'll do that. And that was certainly fun having Wayne McCarty on here last time we were on. That was a blast. And one of my Anoka schoolmates back at Fred Moore and Anoka Senior High. we never knew each other, but we knew of each other. I think we were in some classes together. We had to be.
Yep.
But Wayne was always pretty quiet in school, like you said. He just didn't have the courage to come on our show. But I think the inner wrestler in Wayne wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There were a lot of kids like that just didn't, it took guts to come on our show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, not because of reputation or anything, just because, it was a lot to take in. To get bouncing around that ring, getting thrown around and everything. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been a great show. And like I said, we will be back again with you. And, well, I'll be back next week with Ricky, Canary Kid.
But you won't see me until December 12th.
And I know that me and Canary are going to go back and forth. He's going to open up his big beak, and I'm going to have to, give him a tongue lashing, and he's going to learn to respect Crusher Crossen, because I will not tolerate his loudmouth, snot-nosed punk attitude. So I will take care of that next week, you guys, on Thursday's show. And what did Wayne say?
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Wayne says, but I became a contributing photographer for Pro Wrestling Illustrated for 15 years. Well, that's nothing. And that's certainly, something to be proud of, man. So, to say you were involved in the business that way, Christ, that's pretty good.
And for that time frame.
Mm-hmm. I wish you would have been taking pictures earlier, so you could have came to our shows and got just good pictures. I would have paid you to do that. Now what we would do, Dave, if we could go back in time.
You'll pay a photographer, but you won't pay your workers.
Well, no, I mean, nobody was getting paid, but I'm just saying, like, to hire a photographer, I wish that's something I would have done. Just so we have pictures, really nice pictures to look back on. And you know what else I wish I would have done? Actual interviews at the Armory after the matches. We never did that.
Nope.
We should have. It was just too much going on, and that was the last thing that I was thinking about, All right, guys, it's fun. We can keep chatting away forever, and Dave's Chromebook's going to die on him, so. In fact, I think it might have died already because he just froze up on us. So yeah, Dixie Dave froze on us. You see that? This is the best there. I was going to say that frozen picture was the best I've seen of him today because he's trying to be a heel with Crusher. We cannot have that. So see what Canary Kid started. He's got Dave acting like a heel. Canary Kid was really nice and respectful young man when he came on with me on Forward for the very first show, and then he turned into this snot-nosed punk. What is going on here, you guys? And then when I go on Kayfabe with Keaton, I'm the heel because Canary Kid's well liked by the fans over there in Ireland. It's very, very strange situation we got going on here now. If you guys tune into Kayfabe with Keaton, you'll notice that I'm the heel in that audience because they're all Canary Kid fans. Thanks for the entertaining hour, says Damien. Yes, it was fun. And like I said, this is our only show we're doing in November because we're going to take Thanksgiving week off. And I'm going to be moving, you guys, by the way. Right now I rent and I just bought a townhome. So I'm looking to move at the end of the month. So this is good timing. The fact that we won't be on again until the December 12th. I will be on with Kayfabe with Keaton though here at the end of we got Canary Kid next week, me and him Thursday. And then I've got after that I got Kayfabe with Keaton, which we're going to do on Sunday. Let me look at the calendar here. I'm going to do Sunday with Kayfabe with Keaton on Sunday the 24th, and then we're going to have a special with Kayfabe with Keaton on the 25th on Monday as well. He's got that, the micro wrestling league. They don't like to be called midgets, so I don't want to offend anybody, but it's it's that very popular, real trendy right now. He's got one of the main guys with that organization coming on. So the micro wrestlers, they call them micro wrestlers, I think. And he's got that on the 25th on Monday. So it'll be a special Kayfabe with Keaton following that Sunday show. So that's what's coming up. So yeah, guys, it's been fun. I enjoy coming on here with you. Dave's Chromebook died. That's why he's gone now. So with that, I think I'm going to bid you all farewell. Thanks for tuning in with us. As always, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in live. It's so much fun to have you all here chatting away. It makes the show go better when we have a conversation like this. So I really do appreciate all you guys coming in. So thank you for that. And by the way, I don't know if you've been seeing the advertisements. It might not have been on this podcast, but sometimes you'll see ads coming in now. That's just because we're fully monetized now. So remember, those ads that play, it helps support our channel now. So that's the good news. All right, guys. We will see you next. Hope you guys tune in Thursday with me. Remember, it's earlier, 5 p.m. Eastern on that one. I'll be on with the Canary Kid. And we got our special guest, HBK Hillbilly Kid. Looking forward to that. So we'll see you next Thursday, guys. Or this coming Thursday. So long, everybody.